earlier in the year and stated this meeting and the meeting on the 31st. We changed obviously from the 23rd, Christmas Eve. We didn't think we'd have much attendance, and I mean, I wouldn't be there, so that was better this way. This meeting was posted in accordance with Texas Government Code 551. It's 17th day of December 2024. It's 8:30 a.m. We are in the full room. The forum committee is present established. This meeting is being held both in person and online, but by 8 o'clock this morning, nobody had signed up to speak online. If that comes up, go ahead and holler out. We'll try to help you out. At this time, if we could invoke the blessing of the Almighty, Tom, can you give us the word?
All we thank you for this day that you've given us. We ask your blessings on it. We ask that you preside over this meeting, all the decisions that need to be made. We ask you to be in charge, Father. We ask you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. As long as the pledge of American and Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Thank you all for that. I appreciate it. Moving right along in our agenda today. Commissioner Holcomb, what's happening in precinct 1?
Well, yesterday we filled a bunch of potholes and bugs on some roads that have been problematic. Buckshot and 1248. And we have found what I think is an economic solution to our 1345 problem.
Okay.
And the flooding. And I
Any elaboration on that?
Yeah, there are big pipe culverts, half pipes that have been, I think they're 10-foot pipes cut in half. They've got welded floors on them.
Oh, yes, yes.
And head walls on both ends, and you can get them any length you want.
Oh, wow.
So
That's that railroad car.
yeah.
Okay, so it's pretty stout then. It's not your regular corrugated.
No,
It's,
I went out and looked at some that Rick Bailey just put in,
Mhm.
though they're on Old Foamy,
Yes, sir.
where that flooding problem has been forever. And he put 6 40-footers in, and that is amazing.
What, out of curiosity, what's the price tag on one of these things?
$10,500 for a 24-footer.
Oh, that's not near as bad as I thought.
how much?
10,500.
$10,500.
I thought it'd be a lot more. than that.
So, we were looking at $250,000 for 2 40-foot bridges.
Yeah, sir.
And if we put 4 of those in, I think we'll have it covered.
Wow, that's great. Good job.
So we'll
Good job.
move forward with that after the first of the year. That doesn't include shipping. But they can get 2 of those on one load. So
Okay, so shipping shouldn't be too bad then.
and coming from still.
Still local.
And what's in there next, what, 4-footer?
Well, there are 2 48s on one end and 1 48 on the other end. And we're gonna pull that whole, that whole drainage area out. And it may be that we put 3 in one spot, 2 in another. But still, we're way under what we thought we were gonna do.
That's great. Good, good. Glad to hear that. Thank you. For those who don't remember, there was a pretty severe flooding issue. Developer unscrupulously sold some land to some people that built houses there. And we've been looking for a solution for some time, how to get those people out of Hawk. So glad to hear it. Mr. Cardinal, what's happening in precinct 2 this morning?
Oh, well, we had a little moisture. We did get to blade some roads for about a couple of days till they got too dry again, but now it's kind of staying wet. So with them calling for more rain, you don't want to redo them again and get mushy and soft. But still hauling some rock. Been lucky enough that Connors has been staying up, and not a whole lot of solar systems run out of there. I think precinct 3's been coming out of there. And, about it.
Let's hope not. What's happening in precinct 3, Commissioner Hawkins?
Well, first I need to rework my agenda a little closer. I thought it was a special meeting, so.
Oh, that's all right.
Absolutely. But
We'll forgive you this one time.
thank you, sir.
He's even got the top 2 buttons undone. Look at that.
Yeah, he relaxed. No,
like Mr. Crumpton said, we tried blading some roads and once we bladed, then we got that slow rain, it kind of turned into slop.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're holding on to well today, patching.
No.
Pothole.
It needs to be in. Over here,
We can ask you.
wherever you can plug it in at. If you wanna watch it back there or whatever.
Now you got it. You can get it. Get it. All right, go ahead, Commissioner.
But anyway, that's about it. Patch mud holes, potholes.
Sounds like a winner. Commissioner Lake, what's happening in precinct 4?
We're shredding today, basically, it was so foggy, we needed to get the graders out and right in the gravel truck, so.
Okay.
So we're just shredding today.
All right, sounds like a winner. What's going on, Mercy man?
We've been working on grants, we're trying to work this radio system moving forward. You know, one of the things I was thinking about, the state's already been harping us on these hazard mitigation grants. There's a lot of money out there in our pot, and it has nothing to do with FEMA, nothing to do with this, it's strictly hazard mitigation tied to a disaster. That was a disaster. We might be able to go out.
And we've already approved to go out for those grants.
Yes,
We're in that process that Chris Jackson brought to us. Do you mind if we put that out there to see if something happens?
I mean, you can't,
Can I,
yeah, you might be told no, but I mean, you might be told yes, sir.
Well, we'll talk more about that.
okay, yeah, absolutely.
Other than that, we're just trying to tie up loose ends, get everything together. Yesterday was a disaster because in our office, our internet was nothing, so, and I realized.
Man, Phillips Internet is fine up here.
Yeah,
No problem.
We all got IT director up here, so.
The privilege of office, right?
Yeah. Mr. Holmes, anything from your office?
Sale person, maybe she's having surgery in about 20 minutes.
So, yeah, we will remember her in our prayers tonight, and she does such a great job in the county, such a sweet disposition all the time, especially dealing with you every day. It's amazing. Yes. Anything from ESD number 2?
We've got a new helipad down at the.
Congratulations.
It's functional now, so we have a formal helipad in the southern part of the county.
Wonderful. And I believe that they've done a favor for the county, and we're gonna make a presentation, hopefully our next commission court day on the 31st, but you want to tell them about what we're gonna talk about?
We provided AEDs and first aid kits for the Covington Street Annex and the Huron Annex. So those are in and will be mounted as soon as Lou and I can get together and get them to them.
Thank you so very much for all you guys do for our county. Appreciate it.
One other thing.
Yes, sir.
4 of our ESG2 owned ambulances are in service in the county right now. The 5th one is being fitted for what they call an angel track.
I'm familiar with
That's
that.
like a black box in there thing. It lets Sheriff Wright know where that ambulance is going, where it's been, how fast it's moving, you know, all that information. So within about 2 weeks, we'll have 5 ambulances in the county that are owned by ESG2 and leased carefully.
That's great. Good deal. That's where we've been headed for a long time. We've been at you guys.
I noticed they had ambulances in, is it Fort Worth or Tarrant County now?
Pardon me?
Fairfly?
Johnson County.
Johnson County.
Johnson County, okay. Yeah, we passed some this weekend and I was surprised.
Bill, anything in IT?
Internet outages, Judge, yes, Rise Broadband, as Tom mentioned, Rise Broadband, we use them at EOC and at the Covington, Annex and at Huron. And they had some major outages yesterday, they were down hard, and they were just down, and it came back up overnight, a little after 1 a.m.
Okay.
But it's still kind of spotty this morning, so, that we'll be following up on that until it gets fixed.
Okay, good deal. On this end, not to drag things out, Constable, anything from Constable's office this morning? I'm sorry.
No, we're safe.
Okay. This end, a lot of policy, we've got a couple for you guys to consider today. We have been doing some construction work prior to freezes down at Covington Street. I don't know if you guys remember on the back of the Covington Street Annex, there's a little tin building back there. Where those double doors were. We went ahead and a while back put an awning over that, replaced the tin that was over leaking on that frame structure. Since that is the main water line in, we went ahead and had it spray foamed yesterday on the inside, so it should be good and insulated. I have already had to go over there personally once and rebraze the inch and a half copper line, and I'm not really good at brazing, so I don't have to do that again over the holidays. So anyway, that's moving along well. Just hope everybody has a Merry Christmas coming up. If you please keep Pat Mahoney in your prayers. There's an incident, security incident in the courthouse yesterday. And he's going to need some intervention from the Almighty to save his eye. So if you guys would want to keep him in your prayers. That being said, everything, we're going to move along at this time into our open forum. Is there anybody here for something that's not on the agenda or maybe is on the agenda and you'd like to speak about it? This is your opportunity to do so. If you would, please limit your comments to about 3 to 5 minutes in duration. And as we respect you, please show respect to the court. Going once, going twice, going into consent agenda. So in our consent agenda this morning, we have action on minutes, action on invoices, payroll, monthly report, revenue disbursement, and observe report elected official training. I have, I don't believe I have any elected official training this time. So
Motion.
all right, there's a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as presented. Is there any item we need to pull off for discussion, and are there any additions, deletions, or corrections to the minutes in this agenda? Hearing none, I call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, any abstentions? And motion to obtain again. Motion shall pass with change. Wow, just more coffee is needed. Employee wage status changes. I don't see any for today, so we'll skip over that. At this time, we have some bonds. Let's read these out. We have some elected officials coming in. I'm going to swear, a swearing in ceremony here. About a minute past midnight on the first day of January 2025. Anybody that wants to be here, come on up. You'll have to bring your own, because I'm not going to bore everybody, but we'll be there. So we have Mr. Hunter Barnes, our incoming sheriff, Mr. Mark Hammond, our incoming justice of the peace precinct 2. Those are the bonds for today.
Make a motion approved.
We have a motion and second to approve the aforementioned bonds. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, any abstention, motion carried. Gentlemen, number 3 is discussion of action for professional service for records, public access, and in-house for Hill County Clerk's Office. We're not going to ask you for action today, but we do want to present something. We're going to come back on the 31st. Give time. You're going to have a couple things like this today, disseminate. And you kind of want to basically tell us in your own words what we're doing.
So it's just a kind of like an add-on to what I already have in my office for our software. And so right now, when we take credit cards, it's a third party that we use because they weren't set up to take on credit cards.
Okay.
Well, now they are,
Of course,
and they're pushing all of their clients now to this new, which is good for us because our credit card machines have been giving us heck. Thankfully, our IT people are so smart, they get them back and running every time they go down, so they're not, surprisingly enough, I guess since they're pushing it off on us, they're not charging us to implement it.
So it's just their machine.
It's
Yeah.
the only thing that I have to pay
With the
for
software.
is, yeah, I have to pay for the machines, which is fine.
yeah, we don't do it either way.
But we had to get an upgrade for this. And there'll be a couple of other things that come through, like the contract with, I think they're gonna use Citibank. If I'm,
Oh,
instead of Chase, I don't know why.
okay. Well,
I know Odyssey does Chase, I think, but
that's
it's
interesting.
gonna be Citibank or credit, whatever.
So for this one-time fees, there's a total contract total of $1,418.
That's for the machines.
Yeah, that's for the machines, is what it is. I guess we could take action on this today if you wanted to.
That's fine. I just
Wait.
do my order and I just didn't wanna,
Okay, we'll wait till 31st, we'll take action on it, but I don't think anybody's gonna be against this. Personally, we have to, we don't have a choice, and it also solve the problem we have, which is the machines you got are junk.
and with this, we'll be able to take credit cards over the phone, which we're not allowed, we can't do it now, because we can't manually enter anything in.
Yeah, better service by your office and less money for the taxpayer. Sounds like a winner.
Yeah.
And I do want to bring something else up with our upgrade. That it's coming, I just don't know when I'm gonna get it together, but, and I've talked to the judge about it, the fraud protection.
Yes,
It's gonna be a pretty big chunk, but of course I have it in my records management to do it. I've been requested by the public for several years now to get it. And it just.
basically.
Social security numbers and all
Well,
that stuff.
let's say you own a piece of property and somebody files a fraudulent deed.
Oh, I got you.
It's gonna notify you,
It's not gonna stop it from getting recorded,
but it'll give you notice.
but it will give if you sign up in our office for the fraud protection, which it's free to the landowner. It will notify you if something is filed with your name on it. So,
The basics, there's a problem in the state of
Yeah, that's
Texas.
good.
We haven't had it terribly here, but there is an ongoing problem with fraudulent deeds. People making fraudulent documents and filing them in the clerk's records, and they sit there for long enough, nobody finds out about it. Well, at a certain point, I won't say you're barred from doing anything about it, but you're definitely limited in your recourse. So the goal is to, and Nicole's been pushing this for a while, the goal is to make sure that we protect our citizens better.
Yeah, I love that.
They will be notified that they're being charged at 3% for their credit.
yes, we tell them every time we do a credit card, we tell them,
Yeah.
you have an option if you don't want to pay this.
That's becoming
Percentage.
everywhere now.
It is. So, I mean, you can do check, we always tell them you can do check, cash, and you won't get the 3% charge, which is what we have right now. It's the same amount that we have right now. I don't know. It might. I'll have to look into that. That is a nice feature to have.
It is a very nice feature, that way you're not giving out your card and you want someone to just.
And people try to pay with their, I guess with child support now, sometimes you get a child support card. And our machines now won't take that either, so.
Okay.
Just money on like a gift card, I guess, is what they do.
Day I learned. Okay, well, good deal. Thank you for that. We're gonna move along to number 4, which is discussion or action on the Hill County Quarterly Investment Report ending 6/30/24. Remember, we got up to a certain point last time, and now here's the rest of it. It's quarterly investment report. You will see that we have total Hill County investment funds balance as of 6/30/2024, $23,790,556.53. The back of the second page and the next 2 pages show you all the major fund balances that we hold, cash management, and what we have Citizens National Bank, Citizens State Bank, forgive me, our Texas Class investment portfolio, and our Texas Class Government Plus Fund. The back page of this is account balances, and these are CDs that we hold currently, certificates of deposit by balance by fund. And last but not least, accounts of those details, the significance. That is the investment report for 6/30/24.
Make a motion approved.
Motion and a second to approve. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I call a question. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, any abstentions? Motion carried. Number 5 is discuss and approve final plat for Cleveland Estates. Gentlemen, you recall last time we did a preliminary plat in this center. We apparently, Jesse Yance is indestructible because open heart surgery will keep him from answering emails. You wouldn't go get hold of me for a month Sundays, but anyway, he signed off on this and he's good to go. We've got the necessary notaries. So at this time, it's our recommendation that we approve the final plat for Cleveland Estates.
Make a motion.
Have a motion and a second to approve the final plat for Cleveland Estates. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, any abstentions? The ayes have it, and those no. We're going to get over here. I'm not filling out the date because somebody with better handwriting than me could possibly do that. My handwriting's getting bit. Thank you. No, next, again, this discussion action on grant administration, accounting policy and procedures. I'm not asking you for action today. I'm probably gonna ask you for action on the 31st, so there's 2 policies that we've come up with. These are both things that we do, but we've not incorporated recently in policy. However, some of the grants we're going after is going to require this. At some point, I imagine the CJIS people are gonna require this because they just keep getting more and more intrusive all the time. That being said, the auditor's office prepared this, and it's a grant administration accounting policy. You should have all received an email, have it here in your folder as well. Basic outline of this thing is pretty straightforward. You'll see the table of contents. We talk about definition, scope, responsible parties, governing laws. And then it continues to go through here. We have previously adopted 2 CFR 200. That's a uniform administrative requirement across principles and audit requirements of the federal awards. So we've recite that in here. We talk about the auditor's office and their duties. And again, this is just proposed at the moment, so we're open to any changes that there may be to it or questions about it. We'll talk about accounting, monitoring, financial reporting for the county. I recite our governing laws and regulation. Again, you see that reference to 2 CFR Part 200 and 41 USC 4712. We continue to go through this document. You'll see there's some hyperlinks that are outlined here for some more information on some of this. So our fiscal compliance, our types of grant fundings that we apply for on a regular basis or can apply for, and our grant application, our grant award procedures, our reporting procedures, which is really one of the things we need to work on. Grant modification, time extensions or cancellations, what we do with new personnel. We're basically laying out a policy of this court on how we want to uniformly administer grants in Hill County and do so in such a way that everybody will notice this is what we need to do. We hope to simplify it. We've been very successful with grants over the years between FEMA, CFLR, SLFRF, the state and local, CBDG grants, you name it. Over the years, we've taken in a little more than $30 million in my latest count since I've been here. The grants are a large part of what we do. It's just we're getting enough of them now that we really need to take into consideration some uniform policy. Again, I'm not asking for action on this today, but I will ask for the 31st. I want to give everybody time to look at it, review it, and ask any questions. Does anybody have an opportunity to have any questions at the moment regarding it? Fair enough. Okay.
Is this what the city needs us to do?
No, that's the subdivisions. I put that off to take care of this. And the second one I'm going to talk about, and then I've got the subdivision. Right now, I'm stuck at the escrow language. I took it from 87 pages down to 68 pages, back up to 74 pages. I'm not really having success with one there. I have deleted most of the engineering requirements on there, but and I had previously talked with Jesse about what needed to go. He made some recommendations. There's some language for the escrow that I've just come to a roadblock on it. I need to do something, but we set that aside for a little bit. So I've got about 10 pages, 12 pages of formatting left on that. Hopefully by the 31st, I'll have something I can put in front of the board so we can start looking at those revised subdivision rules and procedures that comply with the requests that the Texas Water Development Board made to operate under subchapter C instead of subchapter A 232 and recitation. I also went off and made a bunch of findings in the front of it. Oftentimes when we take an action, the code or statute lays out that it must be predicated by some findings of the Commissioner's Court. The court finds for the public health and safety, the court finds because of this problem. We didn't have that in the last set because we wrote it and the engineers got it and they drafted it up, and it's okay. But we're making some findings in there and I want you guys to go through those carefully. It's nothing drastic. We're also doing a recitation of all the different authorities we have. Previously, it was just subchapter A, chapter 232 of the local government code, but there's about 7 different authorities that we're actually using. The one thing I have in there that I've not fully developed yet, I've got a good set of regulations for RV parks. I don't know if I have a great set of authorities for RV parks yet. So that's still operational at this point. But we're taking in those and other. So those tiny house subdivisions, mobile home subdivisions, all are high density developments. You require that this body has previously set the minimum acreage for a lot at 1 acre in Hill County. TDCQ says it's a half acre for a septic. We're minimum acre here, and Prairie Land says minimum 2 acres for a well. What's going on at this time is we have people wanting to put these developments in that would be smaller than that. We actually did a variance form over off the lake. They put in a municipal style utility. So that's what we're going is with that high density. For order for the court to consider that, they're going to have a municipal style utility sewerage system that meets TEQ specifications. So it's not just our subdivision rules, which will contain rules relating to subdivision, tiny homes, mobile homes, RVs. It's also going to be our OSSF, on-site septic facility rules, which we've not updated since 2008. It's time to do it. And so we're working with Jeff and working on that. So a couple of things going hand in hand there. It's just taking a lot of time to go through it. From the standpoint of it seems to get busy around every time I start trying to do something. Somebody else asks me for something else. And I say, sorry. Yeah. So I'll get to it. We're making headway. Anyway, so that's the grant administration, accounting, and policy and procedures. Gentlemen, you have that. So please look it over, but I do plan on putting in the 31st for action. So if you have any changes, additions, deletions, corrections, or questions, call Susan. She wrote this. I can stay off my table.
Copy and stuff.
That's case method. I love the case method. Next is discuss and approve an interlocal agreement between Hill County and the city of Bynum. Blum, forgive me, misread that. Blum.
Only thing about that.
I don't have it. Do you guys have the one for Blum? I don't have it. What's that?
I thought it said.
We're gonna come back to that. We're gonna look for it. I didn't see it. Number 8, we're gonna circle back to 7, but we're gonna go to number 8, discuss and approve purchasing and department policy and procedures. Again, this is another policy that needs to be in writing for grants. In December of 2013, this court did pass the department policy. It's pretty short, pretty simple. So what we've done is typically, you're not paying me by the word, but I act like it. So we now have a 17-page, 18-page document that is the Hill County Purchasing and Department Policies and Procedures. And it's going to be bigger than this because I'm going to put a table of contents in it. This is just how far I got before this morning. What we're looking to do is we're looking to set some purchasing policies, again, restating federal law, state law that we're required to, and put it in writing. And so a couple of things, and this may not fly with everybody, but this is a proposal. You guys are welcome to do what you want to with it, suggestions, changes. But number 1, purchase requests for individual items or lots of similar items cost $5,000 or more will be placed on the Commissioner's Court agenda for approval. For purchase of $5,000 or more, coordination should be made county judge and county auditor. All technology requests should be coordinated with the Director of Information Technology. This may include any device regardless of cost that will interact with the technology system. The department request for ammunition, tasers, vests, chemical weapons be coordinated through the sheriff, constable, which I need to change that wording, or as chief deputy. This done maximize grant. Maximum grant requests allow for better purchasing power. Budget allowances will pay uniformly through 26 pay periods. Dues for membership in a professional organization paid with county funds will be limited to elected officials, department head, or coordinators, chief deputy, unless approved by the Commissioner's Court. Purchase requests for service projects, including repair and maintenance costing $5,000 or more, must be submitted for approval. Again, this is a bit of a departure from how we've done things. We've talked about this stuff in the past, and if you guys don't like any of it, fine. You'll see that I allocated this in here, and each one of you guys, here I am talking about it, I'm sitting on top of the copies I'm supposed to hand out, and there you go, gentlemen. I tried to make this as easy as possible for review. I reformatted it, and what I have been using lately is my choice of formats, and that is, 1 is introduction, 13 is the severability clause, and go through the whole thing. It is to make this in small pieces, so it's easier to tell me what language you have a problem with, or what language needs to be changed, and hopefully speed up the process whereby I can get this thing back out and done.
You can't buy much of anything for $5,000.
Agreed, and that's just an arbitrary number I stuck in there. It doesn't mean I'm stuck with that. I'm just putting down a number somewhere. I have no idea what that number should be, so I just picked one out of the air at 5. The only reason I use 5 is because I'm asking that we capitalize any cost over 5,000 in our books going forward. But again, if it needs to be higher, not a problem. I can definitely.
I've got a cover coming, it's 84 by 50 feet, and that's gonna be about $10,000.
Agree.
So if we have to
Again,
get permission for covers every time we order them,
so
that's not worth it.
again, gentlemen, I'm giving you a proposal. I'm not asking you to take action on it. I'm asking you to do homework, read it, make your changes. Because what I'm doing is just putting something out there to start the conversation. You guys are going to have to carry the conversation forward by what you want and what you don't want. If you want exceptions, you want a higher number, fine, not a problem with me. I just have to have some kind of policy in place in order to go after some of these grants. So whatever that number is, the court decides, I'm fine with it, not an issue.
Well,
It's-
like the culverts, that's bid in.
Correct, culverts are already bid, so you don't have to worry about that scenario. But there may be other things, I don't know.
Well,
Again,
but those expenditures are, every time I order, it's $15,000 or $18,000.
correct, and so this needs to be worded to show that.
And should it be something like normal operation
Bids.
versus a one-time purchase?
Well, I think that you go further in this document and you'll see some of that information because we do so many things on the buy board and we have that 50,000 statutory cap where we must. So yeah, there's gonna be some stuff pre-bid, like
We can buy $20,000 worth of tires really.
exactly right. We don't pre-bid tires. We don't bid tires. We tried that. Don't do that again.
No.
But yeah.
I do buy them off the Bible, so.
Exactly. So what I'm getting at, this needs to be looked over and read very carefully so that this policy actually reflects what we want to do. I have to have something in writing for grants. I just gave you guys a starting point. I tried to break it down as simple as possible. We can move things, cut things out, add things in, that's fine. But I just have to have something. And if we don't take action on 31st, that's fine. I do need to do it by mid-January though. So my goal is to go through this thing. Again, I didn't create the capital contents yet because I reckoned a bunch of this was going to come out and some other things going to be put in. But we talk about in section 1, just to go through it, that's an introduction to our purchasing, what I read you some of that. Section 2 is our general policies, and that's all elected officials, and if the county participate in negotiation, approval of purchases, are personally responsible, become familiar with abiding by all applicable Texas state statutes, county policies and procedures. Well, duh, that's pretty self-explanatory. So that's the kind of stuff in your general policies. 3 is your general guidelines. This section is an introduction to the guidelines and or rules for purchasing process. We can go through it. Number 4 is purchase orders. Again, we're going to need Susan's input on the purchase orders. Number 5 is debarment policy. And that's a big thing that the state is worried about, the grants and the feds as well, that we don't do business with anybody on their debarment list. So there's a website, the EPLS system. I don't know how you say that acronym, but it's common apparently. And that's where you can go for make verification for debarment. We just recite that in here. We go on to number 6, and that's federal policies, because we do get federal grants. We have in the past. We've adopted some solicitation rules, descriptions, and what we need to do, and the requirements of that. Number 7 is methods of procurement, and we lay out what's available to us under 2 CFR 200, and that would be either micro purchases, which are purchases for simplified acquisition threshold, small purchases, which is purchase supplies, equipment, services cost below 50, competitive sealed bids, and competitive negotiations, which we've never used, but that is something we could. Competitive negotiations, it talks about that, how it follows, and then non-competitive negotiations. That would be things along the line of sole source criteria. And we very specifically put in here what we require for sole source designation. It's a very tight thing. It's a tight piece of law. You can't get off of it too far. So we lay that out. Again, I want you guys to look at that. 8 contracts talks about how contracts need to be reviewed by the county attorney, things along that line. 9 is your documentation section. That started on page 13. 10 is your locally owned, minority, female owned, and historically unutilized businesses. That has to be in there for federal purposes. 11 is our code of conduct, basically talking about conflicts of interest, and we don't accept gratuities from there's a word I'm looking for here, providers of services and things. And then the penalty for that. 12 is additional provisions. Talks about we're going to follow labor and employment law and regulations, right to inventions made under a grant or contract, environmental regulations, contractors suspended or debarred persons, what happens if we do that, and the Byrd anti-lobbying amendment, and last but not least is the severability section on there. So again, not asking for any action today, just other than, hey, please review this. I really need to get something passed by that first meeting in January. I'll put it back on December's last meeting.
Okay, like the culverts that Jim's gonna order,
Mhm.
is it gonna be over $50,000 worth of culverts?
Well, it's okay if it is, because remember we did culverts in April.
That company was not bid in.
Oh, well, we can only buy from the people we bid in April. No, hold on. There's an exception to that under our current
You're
statute.
talking about the bridges?
Yeah,
I'm not calling that code.
That's a little different because the company that bid it in doesn't offer that product.
mhm.
So you're gonna have to go to who offers that product. For example, if we bid for oversize, 3 different quarries. And that day, no quarry has oversize, but we gotta have oversize. We have the ability to go out and get that oversize. We need to stick with our bids where we can, but if we have those things bid, this is not one of those things anticipated to be bid or was not bid. Well, then at that time, we have to go out. Now, if that's over 50,000, because it wasn't bid in April, yes, we will have to go solicit bids for those, because that's how it falls under our procurement rules. So for example, you're gonna go out and get, these things are 10.5 a piece, you're gonna get 5. Now suddenly we're 55, 52.50. Great. We'll put out bid.
Cut the order in that.
Not on the microphone. Yeah, sequential purchases. Yeah, there's no problem with that. We'll explain.
Well, we want to make sure that anything that we do in here doesn't undo our ability to do those things.
Exactly right. And that's why I need you guys to look over this. Y'all purchase way more than I do. I've got a little bitty budget over here. You guys command much larger budgets. You purchase on a regular basis, and your input on this is very, very necessary. The reason we've never done this before is because I couldn't get it through the group of commissioners that, hey, I'm not dictating to you how to do your jobs. I'm asking you to tell me how we should do this job. I want everybody to be clear up front. It's not, hey, a power grab, somebody trying to do something. It's trying to put in writing what we currently do and how we operate. That way I can show it to these grant people and it makes me eligible for these grants. If I can't do that, it's a hindrance and I can't go after these grants. So my goal is, hey, I gave you a starting point. It doesn't have to be 17 pages, but it's a place that we can all look and go, okay, I like this, I don't like this, this works, this doesn't work, or this isn't how we do things now, so we need to correct the verbiage to change it to reflect how we do.
$5,000 won't do a lot of our repair.
Yeah, no, it's just place.
So if we have to get permission,
Well, as you put the number where you want it, 10,000, 20,000, I don't care. I put a number in there to start with. So whatever it is,
I
it
would
is.
guess at least 25, wouldn't I?
I'd say 20, 25.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't take long to spend $10,000.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. So again, that's fine by me. I just need that input in writing from you guys so that I can modify this. And there'll be some other stuff in here you're gonna see you're not gonna like. This is
What about
proposed.
$250,000?
What's, I don't think I can do that for you, buddy. Ooh. Can we fit you for the orange jumpsuit first? Let's save time later. But anyway, so that's what this is my first stab at a procurement department policy, purchasing policy that's going to memorialize what we actually do here, so I can explain it right to others.
We just need to make sure that change.
Correct. That's it. So that's the reason it's so important for you guys over the holiday, give it a read, and we get back and discuss it again, we'll workshop on it. So that's what I've got there.
You had this in digital.
I will send it to you, digitally. Yes, sir. Does anybody else want a Word copy of that document, a digital copy of that document? I'll give it to you. No doubt. All right. So I'll send it to everybody in digital so we can go through it. And remember, at the same time, the grants administration accounting policy, you need to go through it too, because this is another attempt by us to articulate what it is we do. But I need your input on it because it may not be exactly how we do things today. We're trying to just articulate those things and not trying to change a lot. We're just trying to put it in writing what we're actually doing. So make sure you do those as well.
There's nothing on the agenda for the 31st.
Merry Christmas, yes, sir. At least for discussion, I don't know that we'll be ready for action on the 31st, but definitely we'll have further discussion on it in case there's issues, things come up.
Have a work session.
Yeah, like a workshop. That's all right. And we're gonna do the same thing on the grants administration and accounting policy and procedure as well. So hopefully we'll be on the 31st.
Will there be a form for this one?
A form, forgive me.
Form. If we're gonna have to get permission to do something, aren't we gonna have to have a form or something?
I wouldn't see why we need a form for doing what you're doing currently. We don't have a form. He said a form. He wants to get a form. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, gotcha. Oh, I'm sorry. I've got.
Well, I just thought if it says at 5,000, any kind of repair.
You're not up on that 5,000. I've told you three times. I'm not interested.
Well, I told you 250 is a good starting point.
I told you I'm not going to jail either. Really clearly here. I'm not looking to create more work, man. I'm not doing that. I'm not looking to put a form together, an application. That's not the point of this. The point of this, seriously, is to make it simple, to reflect what we currently do. But you guys buy way more than I do at way bigger prices than I do. I just don't have the budget you guys have. I need to know how things operate inside of your budgets, what works, what doesn't. And that means I gotta have your input on this. I mean, if we go out and hire a third party to do this, which I think I'm the only county judge I've ever heard of to write these kind of damn things, do my language. That third party is going to be pretty prescriptive and you guys aren't going to get anything you like out of it. So what we're trying to do is in-house, make sure it's something that we can all live with, that we all understand this is how we do it. And make sure it reflects our values.
There may be situations in the other departments where that's an appropriate number.
I don't know.
And there may be, is there a way to carve out
Oh, yeah.
for the precincts?
So you'll see in here, the reason I itemized it, so introduction 1.1, 1.010. The reason I did that is because there are carve outs here for separate things, for different things. You're gonna find that like the carve out for ammunition, tasers, whatnot, trying to buy it through one party to get it in bulk and get better pricing. You can do the same thing. There's ways to put stuff in here. The reason I use that numbering system is try to break it down into small ideas. So we don't have to, a third page, second paragraph, first sentence at the comma. No, hey, I got a problem with 1.0, 1.01. it doesn't work the way it is. And then try to make all these things where you can take them out individually or add to them individually, hopefully in this format. I'm doing the same format, as much of a pain as it is, with the subdivision rules. So when we bring the subdivision rules back, it's kind of the same way. We can try to look at it in smaller bites instead of having to eat the elephant whole, what we need to change. But yeah, any changes you guys want to make, we're open to. It's just, I need to get something in writing by the middle of January. All right, well, that's what we've got there. At this time, is there anything else further on that? So pursuant to Texas Government Code Chapter 551071, the Hill County Commissioners will convene an executive session for consultation with attorney concerning pending or contemplated litigation. Mr. Pratt, if you'll stay in there as well. Yes, Mr. Holmes. We're going to clear the room for everybody. Susan, yeah. So we'll come back after this and we'll see. Yeah, ask her, Paula, if she found the belong and I love with her. So good deal. We'll ask everybody else to clear the room and we'll come get you here.